What, you expecting me to say something? Lords of the Fallen is a third-person action-adventure RPG Souls-like developed by DatLJGuy and CI Games. Released in 2014, this is one of the first games to be inspired by the Dark Souls formula. Lords of the Fallen was often called a Dark Souls ripoff, since back then the Souls-like genre isn't really a genre yet. You know, like back when every first-person shooter is called a Doom or Wolfenstein clone. These days, no one really cares that much if a game copies Dark Souls, since Souls-like is a proper genre now and people are done being dicks about it. I personally like the Souls games. They offer a kind of satisfaction that you don't get anywhere. Even though the games are difficult, they're fair, mostly, challenging, and you can get through everything if you just think for a bit and be patient. You know, kinda like life. The Souls games are hailed as some of the best video games have to offer, so it's not easy to get right, let alone copy it. The devs at DatLJGuy and CI Games were bold enough to try, so let's take a look. I gotta get this out of the backlog too.
It's been there for several millennia, drowning in darkness, covered in dust, hoping someday someone will come to caress it like a baby, bury it into their warm bosom, and once again feel what it's like to be played. Today is the day.
For a game that came out in 2014, the graphics still look decent actually. I mean, the cutscenes and animations don't look too good, but at a glance it's kinda pretty. The environment is mostly castle walls, so it's not all that varied, but they're different enough to feel distinct from each other. Here's the regular castle, and here's the Hell Castle, because it's red and shit. Yeah. There's occasionally some different scenery like the graveyard or big arenas, but they're not used as often. For a budget game, I think it's fine. Not gonna blow anyone's cock or clit off, but they do the job. The gameplay is, well, Dark Souls, pretty much. Lock on, attack, block, dodge at the right time to kill bitches, get souls, level up, kill harder bitches. I mean, what more do I have to say at this point? The main difference is that Lords of the Fallen feels more like a traditional Western RPG. This is a traditional comprehensive story with NPCs who interact with via dialogue options, and some choices even affect the ending. They had their own take on some of Dark Souls' mechanics as well. There's a multiplier for experience points. The longer you go without resting, the higher the multiplier, adding a high risk, high reward aspect to the gameplay. Speaking of experience points, there's a time limit for how long your XP will stay on the ground after you die, so if you have a bunch of unspent XP before you died, then you better haul ass. They didn't get everything right though. The camera is wobbly as fuck. No joke, I almost puked the first time I played. I got used to it after a while, but please don't add camera wobble in the next one. The combat feels really sluggish at times. Weapons you get early on are slow, even the sword, which is the fastest weapon type. It isn't until later that I found some decent weapons and truly got comfortable playing the game. Aside from that, I think it's fine for the most part. Since this is a Souls-like, you're probably wondering how hard the game is. It's kind of a mess. I was having fun for the first hour or two of the game, slowly exploring the castle, defending myself against enemy ambushes, and it felt great. It gave me the same sense of accomplishment that Dark Souls gave me. Being careful not to get fucked, taking my time learning the boss's patterns, and slowly make my way to victory. Everything went to shit after the big shield guys come in. They just will not ever put the shield down. When they do, they don't have much of an opening. To add more shit to the wound, they take forever to kill, especially early game when they start to show up. I had no choice but to run like a pussy. I couldn't do shit until I found out I could do a shield bash when running and quickly pressing the shield button. The shield bash is so janky to pull off. You really have to be quick or it just won't happen. It made me wonder if it was supposed to be in the game in the first place. For every enemy I can't beat normally, I just knock them down and whack them. I feel like I'm cheating sometimes because of all this cheese, but the game left me no choice. Then there are these fat fucks that take a ton of health and heal when it's low, and the blue ghost motherfuckers that can't be hurt by melee. These enemies are just so frustrating to fight, and they're all over the place mid to late game. Every time I enter a new area, I literally sigh and try as best as I can to hype myself up before taking it on. It's just not a fun time. At least not until the end game when you get proper equipment to deal with this shit. Bosses are one of the main highlights of a Souls game. They require a lot of patience and can be quite a spectacle to fight. The bosses in Lords of the Fallen are okay. They're not the most challenging bosses I've fought in a Soulslike, but that's coming from someone who has experience in the genre. There's a decent variety, each of them with their own gimmicks, and most of them are kind of fun to fight. The main problem with them is that they take too long to kill, and not in a good way where they mix up their attacks or change into multiple forms. Although a couple of them do have that, they're the exception. Figuring out the boss's patterns is the easy part. The hard part is enduring the barrage of attacks the bosses throw at you and getting enough hits to kill them before they kill you. You know, that's not inherently a bad thing. Patience and endurance should be tested in a Soulslike, but this is the most boring way to do it. I'd rather the bosses have more varied and interesting attack patterns with lower health than having more health but boring to fight. Every boss in the game I can beat in 1 to 3 tries. Those are rookie numbers compared to the Souls games, so it's an easier game. But depending on what you want, you may like the game's bosses more, so you decide if this is a good thing or not. The story is kinda confusing at first because the game doesn't really tell you shit. You play as Harkin, a prisoner who's been sent on this mission with this wizard dude to kill demons. In short, the story is about a demon invasion. There's this guy who can literally tear the evil out of somebody, but since the state of this world is reliant on the balance of good and evil, the ruler of the demon realm, I guess, wants to kill him. I'm sure I'm missing some details, but that's all I got from it. The characters are boring. I don't remember much about them. There's this woman who wants to find her mother. You can help her, but once you do, she's just gone, and I don't know what her storyline has to do with the overall plot. There's an apparition man who can unlock runes, which are these power-ups you can put on your equipment to make them better, so he's cool. Other than that, it's pretty basic video game story. It's just an excuse for you to go around killing the Lords of the Fallen. So, whoa, that's the title of the game. Whoa, who would have thought? Lords of the Fallen is an okay Souls-like that has a lot of potential. The graphics still look decent for a 2014 game. The combat feels sluggish and you're way too weak at the beginning to feel fun, but it did get better towards the end. The enemies are frustrating to fight, bosses are okay but they last too long without any variation in their attacks and form with the exception of a few. The story is just there, nothing too exciting happens and the characters aren't memorable. The game mostly plays well. I just wish things were more balanced and the bosses more fun to fight. Overall, not bad. Just needs more polish. I hope the sequel will further improve on everything, but the news of them changing developers for the 3rd time makes me skeptical. Hoping for the best, I guess. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you liked it. I'll see you whenever the fuck. Later.